Hi, Rich here. Did you know there are many prophecies written in the Bible about Jesus? They tell us all sorts of details about his life and death. Some of them were written hundreds of years before he even came to earth. So today I'd like to briefly show you 26 prophecies about Jesus. Many of these prophecies were written in a portion of the Bible that we call the prophets. The prophets wrote over a 450-year period of time. The earliest, it's thought, was Jonah, the last Micah. They lived 850 to 400 years before Jesus came. The chart here lists for you the 26 prophecies that we will briefly look at. And you can see I have the number of years written before Jesus came to earth. I also have the Old Testament Bible verse where the prophecy was written on the left. And on the right, you see the New Testament Bible verse where it is fulfilled. So I'm going to make my way through these. You can pause the video if you need to write down the scripture references. The Bible tells us that Jesus would be born in Bethlehem, that the Messiah would be born from a virgin, that many children would be killed at the time of his birth, that the Messiah would spend time in Egypt, that the Messiah would do his ministry in Galilee, and that he would heal the sick. It tells us that he would enter Jerusalem on a donkey. It was prophesied that the Messiah would be rejected by his own people, and that he would be betrayed by a close friend for 30 pieces of silver. We also read in the prophets that money would be used to buy a field called the field of blood, that the Messiah would be silent at his trial, he would be mocked at his trial, he would suffer and die for sin, and he would die for sinners. We also read the prophets said that the Messiah's hands and feet would be pierced, and the Messiah would drink vinegar at his death, and that he would be pierced with his side, and his clothes would be gambled away. We also read in the prophets that not a bone of the Messiah's body would be broken, and that he would die at a very precise, specific time. He would be buried with sinners, and he would be buried in a rich man's tomb. He would also be resurrected on the third day, and he would ascend into heaven. This is amazing. No one else but Jesus has fulfilled all of these prophecies. He was the Messiah. And the Bible tells us the Messiah will return again. And we read many more prophecies about the future, things that have not yet taken place, things about the Messiah's kingdom and his second coming. It gives us confidence when we see that all that God said already took place about the Messiah. It helps us to understand the things that he has said will take place are going to take place, and we can trust him that he holds the future, knows the future, and tells us the future in advance. Be blessed.